And welcome to CatavanCast, Van Life with a Cat. It's the show where we discuss our experiences travelling through the many countries of Europe in a camper van. I'm Frey. No, I'm... Wow, that's never happened.
That's something you'd like to tell me, Ben.
I just ask you accept me for... No, I'll be Ben this time.
Will you?
Yes,
Will you?
I'll be Ben.
I'll be Dargo.
Okay.
And just sleep in the corner.
So Frey is sat in the corner licking herself.
Oh Lord. No. Okay.
No.
So you're Ben.
I'm Ben.
I'm Frey.
Yes.
And Dargo is licking
Is
herself.
cleaning herself. She's bathing in the corner. And today we're talking about Spain.
Yeah.
Spain was, for anyone who's been listening, following us along our journey, episode by episode, they'll know the general theme of the last few countries for us was to get south, get warm.
Yes.
Well, now we were south and we were warm.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
We spent a good long while in Spain, and as such, we're going to see how this episode goes. There's probably 2 episodes worth of stuff to talk about here.
I think so, yeah.
Because there's quite a lot that happened. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Dish all the goss.
All the goss. So, as first, starts off with all the legal stuff.
Yes.
If you are in a foreign vehicle, and it probably helps to have most of this on you anyway, you need your driving license, your proof of insurance, which is your green card, your passport, and your vehicle registration documents, which if you're in a British vehicle is your V5. You must have with you, if you're in a vehicle with 4 or more wheels, you must have high-vis jackets and a warning triangle. Actually, no, I think the high-vis jackets are for everybody.
Okay.
Warning triangles are just for cars and anything with more wheels than that. There are hefty fines for people who do not have these on them. You need your headlight stickers on your cars, obviously, and motorcyclists need a helmet. That's their minimum. However, interestingly, motorcyclists must have their lights on at all times.
Okay.
Cars do not need that. Bikes
But bikes
must have
do,
their lights
yeah.
on, yes. Other than that, there's not really much different in Spain to many other countries. No real special rules or anything. There are speed limits based on your vehicle though. So if you're in a car or on a motorcycle, motorways are 120 kilometers an hour. Normal roads, which are the big connecting roads, roads if you're from Britain, they're 90 kilometers an hour, and built-up areas are 50 kilometers an hour unless stated otherwise. If you're in a motorhome up to 3.5 tons, so less than 3.5 tons, and that says motorhome, so not vans.
Okay.
Although it doesn't specify, there's no option between cars or motorhomes. So that's all. No, that's not all the same at all. No, so that's 100 kilometers on motorways, 80 kilometers an hour on normal roads, and 50 for built-up areas. In anything over 3.5 tons, it's 90 kilometers on motorways, then 80 on normal roads, 50 on built-up areas.
I see.
So not a lot of difference there, but there is difference. Although some of the motorways in Spain, because it's so mountainous, if you're heavy enough, you'll struggle to do speed limits. Yeah. Also, anything that cannot do 50 kilometers an hour is not allowed on motorways.
Fair.
Which, you know. Fines can be issued on the spot. Now, this one was worded different. Again, this is taken from the RAC website. So I could find a more dependable source, I suppose. But
it's difficult when you're trying to find something that's across the board.
Yeah,
for you.
I suppose.
That's
but yeah, the RAC way. Well, this fact wasn't worded quite well because it says that you could be fined on the spot, but you can pay later on, and if you pay within 20 days, the fine is reduced by half, 50% off. However, it then says that if you're foreign, you must pay immediately.
I think that probably makes more sense.
That makes more sense.
You can be fined on the spot, but if you're a foreign vehicle, like we said with another country we did recently. Oh yeah,
you couldn't get it sent.
Yeah, I think that was Poland.
You have to pay immediately, but that does mean you will definitely only pay half.
Yeah.
You get the 50% reduction. Although, just a little discussion point, I don't think they should phrase it as, oh, you get half off if you pay it within 20 days or whatever. Like, no, it doubles if you don't pay it in this time.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, semantics. Spain does have some unique road signs though. And these are not no stopping signs.
You sure they're not blue with the red St Andrew's cross in the middle?
There is a blue square with a curved white arrow and a distance in meters, which denotes where U-turns are allowed.
Oh, okay.
Very often you'll see road signs where there are no U-turns. Spain will tell you where you can do U-turns. There's also a blue square. Now we wondered this. Blue square with a white number in it.
Yes.
That's the advisory speed.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be.
So that's not the speed limit, that's just the advisory.
Yeah.
And they also have blue rectangles with a picture of a camera, and that just shows a viewpoint.
Yes.
Yes, which we figured out. We also quite like the parking signs there, don't we?
They were quite cool.
Like when you're driving down the big roads, there'll be like little lay-bys or rest areas. Normally it's just a P. Well, this is a P, but the P is a tree.
Yes.
And there's a little man on a picnic bench underneath.
Yeah.
So you know you can have a little picnic there.
Yes.
There are toll roads in Spain, but we managed to not use any of them.
Nope.
They tend to run. There are smaller dual carriageways that tend to run. Not even dual carriageways. Some of them are like multi-lane.
Yeah.
They're motorways. They are motorways, just more hilly, I suppose. And they normally run parallel to the toll roads. But then the toll roads will go through a mountain, whereas the motorways will go up and over
and
all the rest of them. All the roads have plenty of rest areas, service areas. Fuel and LPG is widely available. No need to worry about that. The LPG is called autogas there.
Yes.
Again, we're going to reiterate this every week. mylpg.eu to look for LPG stations. Do not use Google Maps.
No.
Unfortunately, mylpg.eu does not have an app. Maybe someone should get to work making that.
Maybe.
But it is absolutely, what's the word? Very useful.
Yes.
Yes.
Crucial.
That's a word that will do. Crucial tool for finding LP. It's brilliant. Can't recommend it enough. And on the subject of paying for travelling, Madrid and Barcelona have low emission zones.
Yes.
Where you need stickers, things like that. Best to avoid them if you're in an older vehicle, which you probably will be if you're in a camper van or motorhome. They won't like it. Also, general government advice on Barcelona certainly is do not go in with a camper van or motorhome.
Yes. Or just a foreign vehicle.
But we'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Right, Spain, the land of warmth.
The land of warmth.
I believe in we'd stopped not too far away into France from the border the night before, and it was t-shirt weather.
Yes.
I think it wasn't really, but I was so happy to be able to wear a t-shirt and not be that uncomfortable. So now we were in Spain, and our first night, we crossed at night, south of Perpignan. Perpignan. And we stopped in a motorhome car park outside Peralada. And it was just a big motorhome car park, wasn't it?
Yes.
With servicing, although the water services were not available, unfortunately, and were spilling out onto the floor, which was most
disgusting,
yes. So that wasn't. It's just a big tarmac thing. Spain is, I think, still probably the most accommodating country for motorhomes and caravans.
Yes, definitely.
By far. This one wasn't the best introduction to that.
No.
But yeah, there are plenty of these sort of places. Some more well looked after than others. So you rarely have to go far. For the same with campsites, I imagine, as well.
Yeah.
But we weren't really, we were looking for the free options because we were still on a budget.
Yeah, and Spain has plenty of free options.
Yeah.
Plenty of them.
So we stopped there because we couldn't relax in the heat just yet.
No.
Because we still had brake discs to be fitted.
We still had that
long
fiasco.
Time coming, yes. So we found several garages just south of Figueres. So we went. There were some independent ones which had been recommended on the internet as motorhome specific. People had gone there with their motorhomes and camper vans, got them fixed.
Yes.
They were all busy.
Yeah.
They couldn't fit us in that day or for the next few days. So we kind of kept getting passed along to the next one until we got passed on to a Renault truck place.
Yeah, which we were kind of glad about.
Yeah. Well, since going to a Renault truck place, we see them everywhere now.
Yes.
If you've got a Renault van and you've converted into a camper van, the Renault truck places are brilliant for them.
Oh no.
Oh, Dargo has found the string. Go to sleep. You're normally very good. Go to sleep.
She's only just woken up.
We're trying to work.
Did you see the guilty look she just had? Like, what, me? No.
I'll cover that. And she'll probably dig it out.
It's a challenge now.
So yeah, went to the Renault truck place. They had a look. Said they could work on it that day. Mm-hmm. It did take them all day.
It did.
It did. But of course, they have like a 2-hour siesta in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. Don't they? This is the first. Oh no, south of France has siestas, but not to that scale. I don't think. But they did let us use their break room.
Yes.
With the plug, so we just sat in there with our laptops plugged in.
Did some work, basically.
Did some work, yeah. Researching the country we were embarking on, and they did get it fixed. I think it cost quite a little bit more than we were expecting. It cost about €400, I think.
I think so.
Something around that.
Yeah.
I think because they had trouble getting it off again, funnily enough. That was, God knows.
They had trouble getting it off, and I think they had to replace some of the bolts or something.
Yeah. This was in early December 2019, by the way. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
For as many repairs ago.
Spoilers.
Well, spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they fitted it. Now, anyone who's not been following, as we got new brake discs fitted, because when we were in Lithuania, we heard a knocking noise coming from underneath the van. We took it to a garage there. He suggested it might be the brake discs. The brake discs were now changed, and there was still a knocking sound. So we thought, okay, well, these people have had a look at it. They're proper Renault places. Have had a look. It's obviously nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
We won't go into what it was. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
In another episode. But we thought, okay.
Just you wait.
Just you wait. We thought, okay, fair enough. It's obviously nothing to worry about. Otherwise, I would have found it. We'll carry on. So we carried on. Because this was a lot later than we thought it would be. I think we were planning to make some headway south at this point. Because we always like to work to a deadline. We had booked an Airbnb down in Lorca.
Yes.
For Christmas.
Yes.
Or just before Christmas to the day before New Year's Eve. So we needed to be at the south of the country by that time.
Yeah.
But we still had time we could take a relaxing trip down, stop at places on the way.
Yeah.
But we had somewhere to be. But this night we couldn't make any headway. That night, luckily, sort of going into what we said earlier, there was technically a campsite. But it was just a great big front garden of a woman's house, wasn't it? I got the name of it because it was actually really good. It was Area de Autocaravanes Lydia. I imagine Lydia's a woman's name.
I think Lydia was the lady's
name. And it's her caravan area. So we pulled in at 7 o'clock at night, this being December, of course it's pitch black.
Pitch black.
I remember there was a lot of wind as well.
Yeah, it was a windy day.
And she just saw us come in, so she came down.
Yeah.
And it was €10 for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that includes electricity. They have a shower block there. They have water facilities there. There was Wi-Fi. She gave us a code for. So we were happy. We stayed there for the full 24 hours.
Yeah.
Didn't we?
Made the most of it.
Yeah, we did. So did Dargo. Dargo got out at one point.
She did. She escaped.
Had a bit of an explore.
Yeah, but she always comes back, don't you, Missy?
She does.
As you do.
And yeah, we were just exploited the free Wi-Fi and free electricity.
Yeah.
Plug everything in. Because we have a lot of 240 volt plugs in our van. But they only work when you're plugged into the mains.
Yeah.
You have to have a proper plug-in, and the battery only works for 12 volt, apart from the inverter, but that drains the battery a lot quicker than we'd like. So yeah, we took advantage, got a load of stuff fully charged up. We could use the laptops without worrying about them.
Yeah.
Like they work properly when they're off that. And then I had trouble finding out where we went there. Then it was about late afternoon. We drove off, did a bit of shopping, and this is when we went to Imperius,
yes.
Imperius, which is the historical site there. As both an ancient Greek and Roman city.
Yes, and before then it was my mind's gone blank. Begins with an I.
Italian town.
No. I'll come back to you if my brain comes back to me. But yeah, so it was this civilization that begins with an I. People probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And then it was a Greek one, and then it was a Roman one on top of that, which is fascinating.
It was,
and amazing.
And I think part of the ticket price gets you an audio tour.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So you go around and you just press the button.
Which is definitely worth it because there isn't that much information.
No, there was
is there?
no. I don't think there were any information boards at all.
No.
Going around there. I do remember it was my first time being that close to the Mediterranean Sea because you could just see it through the palm trees, but it was overcast all day.
Yes, it was.
It was like, oh, okay, jacket's back on then. Okay, that sort of thing. But we took Dargo with us.
Yeah.
And she got a bit of a run around an ancient Roman villa, which is pretty cool. Was it a villa or a townhouse? I think it was more of a townhouse.
Well, it was a townhouse, yeah.
But no, that was a great place because you had the cities. Obviously, the Roman bit is more intact than the Greek one. And you went out the back, and there was the great big, not an arena, but there was an arena out the back, wasn't there? Because you had the city walls, which were there, and they still had the cart tracks in the stone, which they all ran through. And what was the big open area? I don't know what you called that. It's not a square, but that's like where you'd have all the big announcements and things. Remember?
I'm trying to remember.
Great big open area, just flat with like a stage at one end, and like just one corner was left standing, which they'd rebuilt.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's just for that's where big events.
Forum.
The Forum. There you go.
That's what that was.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it was Iberian.
Oh, Iberian. There you go.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah. And we moved on from there. So now we were kind of heading just back south again, generally, seeing what we could see. And that was the night we spent with the tiny little Roman bridge.
Oh, yes. That was really cool, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, in amongst all the sugar fields. And I remember the next day after that, we were driving and we started going through some of the smaller towns. And because you are in Spain, but you're also in Catalan.
Yes.
Which is a region in Spain, which is after its independence from Spain. And every time you go, nearly all of the towns are draped in flags and banners, Catalonian stuff everywhere. It's like, a northern town on St. George's Day. Yeah. But everywhere, every day. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty cool. It gave because it's all bunting. It makes it it's like a festival sort of atmosphere. It's like, no, it's just they're proud of their region.
Yeah.
And they're quite happy to show it. And so we carried on. That's right. That's when we started going over the mountains. Now, what was the big mountain range? I completely forgot about this. The big mountains that we saw. Can you remember the name of them?
Where? In the middle or between Spain and France?
No, yeah, in the middle. We saw them and we talked about. So we were driving south. We were following the main road, the motorways. We went around Genoa. Genoa.
Genoa.
No, Girnoa.
Girona.
Girona? Did I spell it wrong? Well, there, Vic, Manresa, and Igualada until we got to San Sardini de Anoia. I'm just saying Italian Spanish words.
Yeah, you are. I'm kind of like.
Well, anyway,
it's fine.
Great big mountains down that side.
Carry on.
They look quite evil. We could see them on the horizon for ages.
Oh, Montserrat.
There you go. See, I knew you were the one to ask. So we could see them. We ended up getting quite close to them, didn't we, on the road?
We did, and I would have liked to have stopped there, but that was after trying a couple of times.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure. But I know you could see them on the motorways for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah. And
we got quite close to them and then started going further away from them.
Yeah.
But that's when we found out, so the motorways, let's say the toll roads go through the motorways and... the toll roads go through the mountains. The motorways go over the mountains. And it gets to a point where the van was struggling to get up. Like, we had to drop down to third gear just to keep getting up the hills. I think that's the only country where the motorways have been like that. Or nowhere else.
No.
Because Italy, where it's either toll roads or little...
Or not.
Or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something to be aware of. Because, again, as we said at the start, if you can't do 50 kilometres an hour, you can't be on the motorways or toll roads. Now, we can do 50 kilometres an hour going downhill. Up some of the hills, it was a bit of a struggle though. Really working.
I don't think we ever dropped down that low.
No, I think that's you drop it down a gear. You
Yeah.
don't go lower than that. It's just something to be aware of. It's quite even the motorways can be quite challenging drives. But that night, so we were in Sant Sadurní de Anoia, butchering the pronunciation. I do apologise. And that was the first of the really good camping sites, caravan sites we stopped at.
Yes, it
Campervan
was.
sites, third time's a charm.
Campervan sites.
So these, we found it's a small chain of them sort of in this part of Spain. And it's only about 6 or 7 spots on gravel, and they're laid out with wood. And they have the water facilities you need. There's no electric.
No.
No electric. But they have little information boards about the area you're in.
Yeah.
Places you can go nearby. You're allowed to stay there for 48 hours.
Yeah.
That's time. And there's a few of them. So it just gives you, if you have just happened to have stopped there for somewhere to stay, they will tell you everything about the area you're in.
Yeah.
And what you can go and do about it. And so we ended up stopping in a few of these, and they were all, I think, the second time we stopped when we had it all to ourselves. But we'll get to that. But no, they're really good. And again, just reinforces how accommodating Spain is for this sort of trip.
Yeah, definitely.
It's certainly one of the easier countries to be driving around and finding places to stop. So, yeah, the next day was the British election results day.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
I remember that. That was a disappointing day. But but we had washing to do. And again, with Spain, it seems to be there's a lot of self-service laundromats at petrol stations. And again, we never really struggled to find, always on the way to where we were going, we could find somewhere to do our laundry. Yeah. Which is good. A lot of them have little seats you can sit in and just sit and wait while you do it. Of course, you've got a camper van, you don't need that. But, you know, and they're usually on petrol stations, so you'll probably be going there anyway. And this is when we were, so it was on a Friday at this point, and we were trying to go to a camper van spot which is near a train station, which could get us into Barcelona.
Yes.
So the first one we went to was in La Colonia Güell. Colonia Güell. Again, sorry about the pronunciation. And that was the full one, remember? There were dedicated camper van parking spaces, but they were all free. Yeah. They were all taken, sorry. Yes. And there were signs up threatening fines if you stopped in one of the car ones. Yeah. So we looked for somewhere else. Turns out for the better, because then we found a spot at Sarria San Gervasi. Again, pronouncing that wrong, but that's up in the mountains, just west, of Barcelona.
Yes, with the view of that church.
You had a view of the church right up, further up the mountains. Yeah. And we were in among. It was on a tarmac car park, but surrounded by trees. Yeah. Very, very quiet, and big family of boar.
Yeah, that seem to hang around and live there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, very, very friendly with people. Yeah. There were a lot of people. I say a lot of people. There was a good few people there, like sort of looking at the boar. Yeah. So we didn't get out to go and have a look because there's other people. We don't like other people. We like boars.
Boars are cool though.
Well, you just wouldn't have thought to see that up a mountain in Spain, would you? No, it's great. All the times we sort of caught half glances of them driving around in France and things, and then just a load of them come out and just start sniffing around bins. And
running around.
So then the next day was coming down those mountains towards Barcelona, and those are really good roads.
They were amazing.
With the views of Barcelona as well. Yeah. And there was just a big stopping point on one of the hairpins, wasn't there? Loads of people getting out. Yeah. Just getting out and just looking over the city.
I think Spain and that part of Spain, especially around Barcelona, had some amazing motorbike roads. Yes. Because do you remember that? I think it's one of the stops that you've already mentioned. After Montserrat, where we woke up and there were just tons of bikes.
That's the next stop.
Is it the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll come to that.
We'll come to that. Sorry.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Sorry. Even Darga looked at me all offended, like.
So our goal for the day was to get into Barcelona. Yes. Now again, official advice is to not drive a foreign vehicle into Barcelona. So we found a train station, as we've done many times before. Go to the train station, park up,
I think this was about a probably half an hour journey outside of Barcelona at this point.
Yeah.
It wasn't close to like in Barcelona as such, but yeah.
And we parked up. I've lost where I am because I've written it down. The name of the train station: El Prat de Llobregat. El Prat de Llobregat, and that's how I spelled it anyway. El Prat de Llobregat. And we parked up. Great big car park, free car park. There was another camper van there. But right in front of where we happened to park was a French car with the front window smashed.
Yeah.
The driver's window smashed.
And we sat there. And we were like, right.
Yeah.
Do we tempt fate?
Yeah, because obviously we got broken into in Sweden.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't happen in Sweden.
3 weeks on the road. And by this point, I think what was this, like, still beginning of December, wasn't it?
Yeah, still
First, maybe second week
December,
of December. Yeah. So it was only a couple of months.
Yeah.
The wound was fresh.
What we'd heard of, obviously, the official advice of Barcelona. And
from stories and from everything that everyone says.
Yeah, there were no very convincing or like all around positively reviewed spots on Park for Night. The only option was on the opposite side of Barcelona was a secure camper van parking spot where you can sleep as well. Yeah. Which is near a train station, which gets you in. Yeah. But then that's another extra expense we didn't want.
I think that was about €40 a night as well.
Yeah, it was expensive.
I don't think it was cheap.
Because they were like the only one.
Exactly.
There were other places in Barcelona, but then you've got the emissions charges, so we really didn't want to, and we were looking at every other opportunity that we had, but without spending that sort of money, because Christmas was coming up. Yeah. And we had my parents coming out for a few days, so we needed all the food for Christmas
cash
week
and everything that we had. But it was such a shame and such a bummer to miss Barcelona. Yes. I've been wanting to go to Barcelona for so long.
Me too. I was really looking forward to it. But we wouldn't have been able to enjoy it.
No.
We would have just been constantly worried about the van.
Exactly.
With them, by extension, we would have had to take Dargo with us, which then limits where you can go in, because you've now got an animal. So we sat, I think we knew we weren't going to go in, but we were just really looking for any sort of excuse. Yeah. Not excuse, but like reasoning to go. So we didn't, and we ended up going down the beach a bit near Castelldefels. Yeah. It's quite a Prat de Llobregat, Castelldefels. Castelldefels, went down to the beach for a bit. It was a nice beach.
That was quite nice.
There's a big long beach. In December, worrying about getting sunburn, which is a new thing for me. I was, yeah, you were loving it.
It was like heat, yes.
But then we started going back up the mountains, and that was the really good biking road, where we actually went past a load of bikers. Yeah. There was like a pub or a cafe or something on one of the hairpins. And they were all getting ready to go on the bikes. And I think they saw us go up the hill and thought, I know, we'll leave it a bit. We'll wait. But then they did come past us. Because again, it's weird, like, that's their biking season. Yeah. Because it's as hot there as it is in December as it is in the UK in the summer. So it's there. Obviously, it'd probably be too hot for them to go out in all their leathers. Yeah.
Those were some nice bikes and some nice roads.
The roads were absolutely amazing because they're the big twist, constantly coming back on yourself going up the road. So every hairpin, again, you're getting more views of the Mediterranean Sea. There's Barcelona off on the horizon, all the little towns in between on the way up. We go up and up the mountains and down the other side into a great big valley. And just outside the small village, I think, of Sant Cugat Sesgarrigues. I'm going to get you to pronounce all these one week. So I'll sit here making a fool of myself and you just...
I just let you do it.
You let me do it.
It's fine, yeah.
But that was the spot. Again, it was by the same organisation that made the other good spot I was talking about. And we had that place all to ourselves. Yeah. And you could just see the main road that we just come off.
Yes.
But yeah, the next morning, that was when there were just bikes.
Bikes
everywhere. There was like 30 or 40 of them
Yeah.
at a time, several times down the main roads, down
Mhm.
the little road we were on.
I still distinctly remember the cruiser that went past. It was a lady biker, which I always get very excited about seeing.
Of course.
Like, yes,
Yes.
not the only one.
Sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that
Yeah.
in my head every time. But it was a red and black cruiser. And I was like, those are my colours.
Your colours.
Exactly.
Fam, that's me.
That's me one day. Again. But yeah, no, that was really cool.
It was really cool. And the spot was really, we had the spot all to ourselves.
We did. There was a little picnic bench.
Little picnic bench, we sat out. Dargo could have a look at the sheep,
Yeah.
just the other side of the fence.
I think that's probably the first sheep she'd seen up close.
I think she was confused about the sheep. I think the sheep were confused about her. What the hell's this? But no, it's just really good that Spain offers these sort of things.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Because then the next day we could park over the grey water drain, and we could just drain the shower water straight out of the van,
Yeah.
and just have a shower without worrying about it.
Exactly.
And then fill it back up again.
Fill up again and we're good to go.
Good to go, and off we went, carrying on, and carried on down the coast. And that's when we stopped by one of the deltas.
Yes.
Out done are they delta? Yeah, they are deltas.
Yeah.
Just it looks like you go through rice paddies. Well, they are rice paddies as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just the long straight roads of water either side of you at Amposta.
Okay.
Now that was because it was a great big car park full of like old German couples. Now I say that because
Older.
yeah,
Just older.
they're older German couples, and you can tell they're older and they're German, and that's not being horrible. Just because they are huge vehicles.
Them enormous things.
By far, we were the smallest.
Yeah.
By several degrees, we were the smallest. These things are huge. You think there's two of you.
Yeah.
What have you got in there? Have you got a horse in there? Is there another car in there? Like what? These things are huge, and they've got satellites set up, and they've got their little awnings out with everything. It's like they've got. I bet their vehicle, once they're all set up and out, it's probably more floor space than my flat used to have. Like,
Yeah, probably.
It's ridiculous.
They're living their best lives.
I'm just jealous at all. Like, you know, it's fine. They could probably close the door between the kitchen and their second living room. But no, it was a weird place. You had this big car park, very graciously offered for free, and there was a restaurant, I believe, next door, which we weren't going to go to. There seemed to be like some sort of, it was like a family activity area, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was some sort of petting zoo or something. Or
Maybe.
there were
Not
animals.
sure. There were animals.
There were
Yeah.
animals. And we did go for a bit of a walk to try and see some flamingos or any sort of.
Or something.
Or
No, we went to go see the sunset.
Oh, the sunset.
Because the sun
right,
was
yeah.
setting over that way.
That's
behind
right,
the mountain.
Yeah. And it was a nice quiet night, and kind of a mix. So yeah, you are out in amongst nature, but in a restaurant car park surrounded by lots of other people.
Yeah.
In a well lit tarmac car park. So a bit of a cross there. So saying we were taking our time in Spain, we didn't really go out and do much.
No.
Like the scenery in Spain took a long time for it to become normalised.
Yeah.
So we were just driving around, just gawping at everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think we spent a lot of time just driving because it was just so nice.
Yeah.
Like Spain is just we did a tiny bit of Spain at that point.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
We've just come down the coast.
Exactly. We still haven't done most of Spain. We can't
No.
claim to have done most of Spain, but every single little crest that you go over. Or anything like that, it's like Jesus.
There's more mountains.
It just keeps going. But Spain was also the first country where do you remember remarking that it was mountains and then a valley, and then more mountains and then another valley.
Yeah.
And we were like, you can actually see that in one drive, and that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. So we weren't driving as far.
No.
I think this is the thing. We were just driving, but we were taking it easy.
Yes.
So we didn't want to do any more,
Night driving.
any more night driving for a start.
Uh-huh.
No more long days doing things like that. And because Spain is so accommodating with motorhomes,
Yeah.
you can really drive as much or as little as you want, depending on your schedule. So we were determined to take it easy, and as we were slowly realising that city visits may be completely off the cards.
Yeah.
That's the downside of Spain.
Mm.
Going in a motorhome or camper van, you are very much at risk near the cities.
Yeah.
Out of the sticks, you've got nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
Out in the mountains, no,
A few
it's not even a
people
concern.
have done cities in Spain the way we've done a few other cities, i.e. park up in a secure place, get an Airbnb or a hotel or something,
Yeah.
go do it at the weekend, kind of a thing. Which is okay,
Yes.
which is a good way of doing it.
Well, we would have done if we had the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just something else to consider because there's just a lot of those, because they're so accommodating, they get a lot of that sort of tourism, and the bad people know that.
Yeah.
So they'll come looking for you. So the next day we headed off go further south. We went past Castellón de la Plana to a motorhome spot outside Onda.
Ooh, Onda, was that was that where we started seeing Arabic?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Do you want to talk about that?
Can do. Spain used to be occupied by the Moors.
Yes.
Which were Muslim North Africans.
Yep.
And obviously they spoke Arabic.
Yeah.
Bits of that heritage, that culture is still within Spain, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
It's something for me to be able to read Arabic in Europe.
Yeah.
Which we were driving along and I was like, this is quite strange. But
it was
cool
quite
at the
strange,
same
yeah.
time. I appreciate that. But
Well, because you were using it as practice.
For Morocco.
Yeah, because obviously our next country was Morocco. So I thought, okay, let's get your practice in.
Yeah, exactly. See if I can get, because it takes time for me to be able to get up to fluency in these languages, because I don't, day to day, we speak English. Yes, I speak other languages with my family, but reading wise, it takes me time to build up to that.
Yeah.
So just being able to read road signs really quickly was good practice.
Yeah.
But no, Onda even had, like, we went down one of the main industrial roads, didn't we, on the way into the town?
Yeah, Ronda, that made a lot of tiles. Onda, that made a lot of tiles.
Ceramics and tiles,
yeah. And there was just a road, and either side of it were just factories.
Yeah.
Of this stuff.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's when a lot of the company information, company names, even adverts and stuff was in Arabic.
Yeah.
So.
Which was quite, because I think we'd seen on the roads some, they were clearly old mosques.
Yes.
Don't think they were any, I don't think they are.
Not anymore, but I think they were, yeah.
You look at them and that looks like a mosque.
Yeah.
So you went to Onda. Onda didn't seem like much, but there just seemed like just another little town sort of on the way. But there was a big castle there.
Yes.
But I think
Moorish castle.
Moorish castle. But I think that was quite expensive to get in.
It was, and I think it was closed. Unfortunately, which is why we didn't go there. Because I remember when I looked up Onda to see what there was to do, I was so excited about Moorish stuff. I still am.
Yeah.
I still haven't properly got to explore Spain's Moorish history, which would be quite cool.
Yeah. But we ended up in another camper van motorhome parking area. This one was very new, and there was some, I think it's a newer part of town that's being renovated.
Yes.
So there's still quite a bit of construction going on.
Yeah, there was.
So it wasn't the most scenic or quiet place to be, because there's workers coming in. The water point, which is for the camper vans, was being used by the workers.
Yeah.
But, which, fair enough, can't moan at that, but, it's just, and that's not me complaining about it, it's free facilities. I'm not
exactly.
But it's just, it's not all picturesque, scenic.
Yeah.
And we certainly
but again, that was back in December. We're now.
Yeah, I imagine
August,
it's probably all finished.
Exactly, it's all finished and looks lovely.
All ready for all the tourists that can't go there because people are locking down again. Anyway.
Such is life, such is 2020.
Such is 2020. And that was also there was another camper van there.
There was, yes.
Who had a cat.
They did have a cat.
And took their cat out for a walk.
And we were like, we're not the only ones.
But that's when we found out Dargo can get a bit. She doesn't like cats she doesn't know.
Yeah. She doesn't like anything she doesn't know.
No,
it's a big concern of mine.
Well, she gets used to people.
Yeah, she does.
But
She's
at
quite good,
first,
yeah.
she's rather like, no, leave me alone. I don't know you.
Yeah. Like, I will come to you.
Yeah.
Which I think quite a few cats are like, so can't
Yeah.
blame her too much.
So the following day, we were heading to Valencia.
Yes, we were.
Yes, Valencia. Valencia. I think we were just trying to find a spot near the beach to park up.
Yes.
And we found a spot, parked for night, just along a road, just to park up. I think just to chill out and have a bit of lunch, dinner sort of thing. We drove down there. For some reason, sat-nav tried to took us off the main road, and then there was a bit of confusion, and it ended up taking us onto a farm road.
Oh, yes.
And tried to get us an underpass, which we were about double the height of.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we were looking for a shop. Can't remember whether it was a vehicle-related shop or whether it was like a home stuffs-related shop.
Okay.
But we were looking for a shop, and the junction where you come off the motorway was being redone. So the road it wanted us to go down was closed.
Oh, is
but
that what
it
it
would
was?
not take us any other way. According to
Right.
this, it could not take us any other way.
Yeah.
So we ended up like being like, okay, there's another road which goes down here, and by the time we turned anywhere near that, Google was like, oh, okay, cool, I can take you this way. But that was the bridge, that was too small.
Yeah. So
then I had to do a 3-point turn on a single farm road.
yeah,
Which...
well the road was raised, and the fields either side of the road are like dropped down.
Yes.
So if you drop the van down, that's it.
You're screwed.
You're dead
For life.
So
that was fun.
you managed though.
I managed.
And we got out of there, and we went further along, and we did find a space near the beach. I think great big road with like palm trees down the middle. But it didn't look like you could really stop there.
No.
So then we found out there was an IKEA.
Yes.
So we thought, sod it, we'll go to IKEA. It was on a huge trading estate.
Yeah.
And we had some dinner there, treated ourselves to an IKEA dinner.
Yes. Bought a shovel.
Yeah, did we get anything from IKEA there? Or did we just go there for dinner?
I think we may have just gone there for dinner.
We were there for dinner. But then we went, and because of all the other shops around, we got a foldable shovel, which sits nicely under the driver's seat in the van.
Yeah.
We also got those drinking bottles.
Yes, we did.
Because we were just using plastic bottles to take out for water for when we went out for the day. And they're just too risky. They start to leak over time. They start to degrade.
The drinking one I had, that was given in Finland, that started to leak.
Oh, it started leaking, yeah. So we got some proper sports bottles, which still work perfectly today.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. And then we got in the car, and it was night time at this point, unfortunately.
It was
and
rush hour, so it was only about 5-6 o'clock.
Yeah. And we were heading to our stop along the motorway, and should we go through the story?
You can tell it.
You want me to tell it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll sit here quietly in shame.
3 lanes of traffic. Now, obviously, it being Europe, the right-hand lane is the slow lane, and the other 2 are for overtaking. The left-hand lane turns into a slip road to come off at the junction. We're in the middle lane because that lane is building up with traffic, and we're slowing down because cars are moving around and stuff. And we weren't sure whether we were supposed to come off at this junction.
Yeah.
So we've slowed right down just in case we need to. Now, this then got past the point where it's like, no, we cannot stop in time to get off.
Well, we can't join that because we'd reached the row of traffic.
Well, yeah, it's like,
So
okay, we've missed this.
Yeah.
However, the Corsa that quickly overtook us on our left did not think this. So then, as she started slowing down, came out in front of us, trying to get out across us.
Saw the traffic, stopped in the right-hand lane, slammed her brakes on to stop, not giving me enough time to be able to stop.
Well, she cut in front.
Behind her.
She must have been about 3 meters in front of you.
If that.
And then slammed her brakes on. So, of course, we went right into the back of her.
Yes.
Dargo was sat in my lap at the time, just shot back.
Yeah.
So then he just like, Christ, what's happening? What's going on? 2 young ladies get out of the very damaged Corsa, waving their arms and screaming,
punching my window.
I didn't see that. I saw it when she then kicked it.
Yeah.
So I then got out. I think because they thought, oh, you were the passenger. I'm not sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because that was the passenger door, wasn't it? Either, anyway, so I went out and told him to shut up, just go away, stop banging the van. I have a look. Luckily, the van looks to be in very little. There's no damage to it, really.
Yeah, the headlight smashed.
The headlight was smashed. There's a bit of a dent on the front. It's because it's a 1999 van.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's made out of lead. It's
Might as well be.
The Corsa, good lord. And if they for some reason had someone in the boot, they'd be dead.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest, and I don't think I've told you this. Like, my memory of that event, like of the Corsa in that event, is very bad. Yeah. I paid like minimal attention to them because I was panicking that much.
Yeah.
I had the cat to think about.
Yeah.
I had us. I was in the middle lane on a motorway in rush hour.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
But,
I was shaking so much.
I'm not, I think, I was. We all, because I got out, and right now I'm in the road. Now, so they're screaming, I come out there, then calm down. I'm like, and because they're screaming at me in Spanish, I'm like, no Espanol.
They were just swearing at you, I remember that much, being like...
I was like, alright, look, we need to get this moved.
Yeah.
So they move over to the hard shoulder.
No, there was a lady who came in between.
Oh, that it was, and the lady came up and she said, I've called the police.
Yeah.
She said to me, she called me over, said, I'll call the police, they're coming, just move it over.
Yeah.
So I was like, thank you very much, thank you. But then you've got to move over, there's cars trying to get round you.
Yeah.
Cars do not care that an incident that there's been a crash. They just see a gap they're trying to get through. We eventually got it over. Luckily, we had our European driving kit.
Yes.
So we had our warning triangle and our high-vis vest.
Yeah.
Although we were in front of the other car,
yeah.
the car we'd hit, so we didn't get our triangle out immediately. The driver came over and said what had happened. She's basically blaming us.
Yeah.
Said, I slowed down and you didn't slow down in time. I said,
so
well, yes, that's because you gave us zero space or notice that this was happening. And then the one that was kicking our door came over, apologised, and then asked for our warning triangle.
Yeah.
Now, knowing now that, you have hefty fines for not having warning triangles.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we couldn't not do it, really, because it's for safety, but, we did. And then eventually the police came and said, right, they spoke barely any English.
Yeah.
They've had no English. No, okay, we're going to follow us off the motorway.
Yeah.
We'd be in front, to drive as we are. And that's when we found out we had no acceleration.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
So you literally just had to pull it with the gears.
Yeah.
On a motorway.
Yeah.
At rush hour.
At rush hour.
So I remember
probably everyone in the vicinity of Valencia hates this white van that held them up on that work night. But yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, we were fairly close to another slip road to come off.
Yeah.
But then that just takes you onto another bit of motorway.
Yeah.
And then there was another, but directly onto another slip road. But I remember, because obviously the police drove off.
Yeah.
And we were like, right, we have no drive. So then he came back and we were like, we have no acceleration. Yeah. Which I don't think he really understood. So then the Corsa and another couple went off, and then a couple sat behind us as we drove off. But so we're coming up to a slip road and cars were leaving it till like the last, like they really didn't have safe room to overtake us, but they were anyway because they didn't want to get stuck behind the slow thing. Then we had to come off again, and we're just at the end, just a little road with a row of shops, which turned out to be a row of garages.
Yeah, luckily.
Very, very conveniently.
So luckily.
So we've gone in and we just sat for it was at least an hour. Yeah. I have no real concept of how long that was.
Do you remember those girls, they went into one of the shops and bought a warning triangle?
Yeah.
Right there and there.
Yeah, one of them had a brand new warning triangle.
Somebody's covering their back.
No. We'll note though. I don't know how much we paid for our European driving kit. The warning triangle, we used it once and it broke.
Yes.
It was falling down.
That's one of the things that I think I mentioned in previous podcasts, was that when you get this kit, or when you get a kit before you set off on your trip, for the love of God, just make sure that everything is okay in there.
Yeah.
I didn't open the warning triangle because I just assumed that it would be fine, and that was a mistake.
Well, yeah.
But just check everything. Warning triangles aren't one use. Unlike obviously the breathalyzers and stuff that you get.
It's not a disposable thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just make sure that everything is okay, because the one we had was knackered.
But you should have one because I say hefty fines. These girls obviously knew that, so she ran in and got us to have a brand new warning triangle. So I think the police come over. They ask us a couple of. I think
they wanted our documents.
Yeah.
They wanted all the insurance documents, everything like that.
Yeah.
And I sent you off for something. I can't remember what, but whilst you were gone, he wanted your details, and then when you got back, he took a statement from us.
Yeah.
About what happened.
Yeah. I remember he wanted your driving license.
Yes.
Which you didn't have.
I didn't have.
Because it was stolen in Sweden.
Yes.
And he's
Which
like.
was fantastic.
And he was like, "Oh, in Spain you must have driving license." Like, yes, ours was stolen. And he's like, "Oh, in Spain? No, it's Sweden." He's like, "Oh, but luckily I've still got it in my wallet.
Yeah.
I have the police report number thing." So I gave him that. He's like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." So he took all that. What did I go to the shop for?
I'm not sure. I think maybe to ask if they could repair it.
Oh, maybe, yeah. But they were all closing at this point.
Yeah.
So, but it was more like a Halfords than an actual garage. So the guy had all the information off us, and then he just talked to the girl. I remember an ambulance turned up and took the passenger.
Yes.
And she later came back with a neck brace. I thought, oh, your neck hurts. We didn't know when you got out of the van and started kicking him out of our door. Anyway.
But also like the fact that, I mean, obviously we weren't obviously hurt. Like we didn't have blood pouring out of us or anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no one came to ask us.
Exactly. We weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I think that's down to us not speaking any Spanish, which is fair enough.
Yeah, maybe. I still have a click in my elbow whenever I bend it. But then you're in shock. You don't know.
Exactly.
Your adrenaline's going.
Yeah.
But
we were sat there whilst the chap who took our statement was different to the chap who took the girl's statement.
Okay.
And then they both went and sat in the car, in the police car.
Yeah.
With the other driver in the back.
Yes.
So then we're left for about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe more.
Yeah.
Just sat there being like, oh my god, what is going to happen? We can't communicate.
Yeah. And of course we've gone into the back of someone. Now anyone in the UK will know that that's
an immediate...
That's your fault.
Yeah.
Unless you got a camera, which we didn't have on because it doesn't... I thought, what's the point of recording the road at night? You won't see anything.
We're only going down the way. Always have the camera on.
Always have your dash cam on, because unless you've got it on camera, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Also, we thought.
Yeah.
So we're sat there, wondering what's going on, just thinking that we're trying to stay positive, but realistically, I'm thinking, this isn't going to go well.
I had a bit of a cry.
You haven't got your license because it was stolen. We're going to be found in the wrong, things like that. But then the girl started getting quite emotional.
Yeah.
And quite, obviously we don't understand what's being said, but the tone of voice, the arm gestures, she's pleading, she's like, why, things like that. The guy comes over, he's drawn a little picture, he explains what's happened, and in my head I was still there like, yes, this was her fault, just to read like, and he said, yeah, the fault lies with her.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I'm like, could you write that down for us, please? Please put that in an official document. And he did. He gave us all the information, and he said, tell your insurers to contact us.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out with them. Luckily, as well as having a row of garages right there was also a great big dirt car park right there. So we limped the van, pulling it in first gear, back onto the road and round onto this car park, where we stayed. I think we put the kettle on.
We just didn't do anything.
Well, we just started assessing the damage. So, because my big worry was the gas.
Yeah.
But all that's at the back of the van, so that was fine. I think the kitchen worktop had shifted a little bit.
Yeah, everything in the habitable part of the van had shifted.
Yeah, it was leaning forward slightly.
Yeah.
Dargo was fine. She had no, just feeling over. There was no.
Yeah, she was okay. She wasn't hurt.
because we were slowing down anyway when we had the impact. It was a low.
I wasn't going that fast. I was going sub 30.
Yeah.
I know I was.
So all the electrics worked. We had the gas on. They were just smelling for gas leaks. There was nothing. All the gas systems worked. All the electrics worked. All the water worked.
I think that's one of the first things I did when the crash happened. When you got out, when we moved the van over, I went to the back and turned the gas off.
Sensible. Yeah, makes sense. And of course, with the system, the legal system, it's just 3 knobs instead of like whatever it was before when it was a death trap.
It was nothing.
nothing. Then you got onto the insurance. Told them what went on. Now that was the interesting thing, wasn't it? That in the UK, so the Spanish police had told us this is not you've gone into the back of that person.
Yeah.
It is not your fault.
Yeah.
In the UK, that's not an option on claims forms, is it?
No. When they're filling in their forms for a claim, if you've gone into the back of someone, that's immediately your fault. There is no option for them to put a no-fault claim if you rear-ended someone.
So we had to put it down as something else, didn't he?
Yes, I can't remember what he put it down as, but he's just like, I put it down as a non-fault claim for something else. And obviously, because it happened in Spain, trying to communicate with insurance companies and things like that, that claim is still going on.
Yeah, that's...
We've had to confirm and reconfirm and send them diagrams.
We had to draw pictures, didn't we?
And do all of that about three or four times now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, fun.
So that's still ongoing.
Yeah. But, so, we were okay for the night. We told them what was going on. They told you to go to a garage to get an estimate, didn't they?
Yes.
Luckily, we had a wealth of garages to choose from. I think we stumbled upon a very good one. Couple of younger lads, very helpful. We said we can't move the van, so he came with us to have a look. And then we went back. I think he had a look. He had to figure out what it would cost. And then I think our insurance needed the garage to send them the estimate.
Yes, an official estimate. Basically detailing everything with pictures. Yeah.
And then the insurance would okay the work, send us the money, and then we could crack on with it.
Yeah.
So it's worth pointing out this was on Tuesday, the 17th of December.
Yes.
The following week, all the garages would be shut.
Yeah.
And
Christmas.
For Christmas, because it's
Christmas.
And we had our Airbnb booked for the 23rd.
Yeah.
Which was the Tuesday or Wednesday or something, I'm not sure what it was. So we were a bit worried about the time constraints with this. We thought, okay, they've come out, it's Tuesday, we've got the rest of the week to do this. I think we spent the rest of the next day just in the van.
Yeah.
Just sitting. Because we didn't want to go anywhere.
We couldn't really.
You can't leave the van because we don't know how safe the area is. We can't drive anywhere, so we were and you can't sit outside because you're in a car park.
Exactly.
So
and you're pretending like you're not in the van.
Yeah. So we just sat in a, thankfully not too hot. God, imagine if that was this time of year.
Exactly.
My word.
That'd be awful.
So we just sat in the van, and I think later on we phoned the insurance. So look, these guys have sent the thing.
Yeah. Have you received it? Like, what's going on? Kind of a thing. And they basically said, oh yeah, we've got it. It takes our engineers and whatnot 5 working days to approve. I was like, you what?
Beg pardon? It sounded like you said that it would take 5 days to approve it.
You know it's Christmas next week, right?
So now we're panicking. Not panicking, now we're worried.
Yeah.
Like, right, okay, they're not open. Well, I think
it's like the beginning of a Christmas B movie.
We've got to get down south by Christmas. But the guy at the garage, I think he said he offered to come in like 2 days the next week to get it done. But the insurance may not have got us the money by then. So we sat there thinking about it. So we go back to the garage.
Yeah.
And we say, right, if we bring it in tomorrow, can you do it? Yeah, we can do it tomorrow, no problem. So we decide, right, we'll take it there, we'll get it done, we'll tell the insurance that we have to get it done because we're being asked to move.
Yeah.
Because you're not supposed to camp in these places.
No.
You've got to go to a designated place. We're not supposed to be there. We told them we can't leave the van. We can't, because they're asking us. We got medical people phoning
Yeah.
us, asking us if we've been to the doctors to get checked. And, well, we can't leave the van. And
When
the,
are we supposed
and the
to
van
do
can't
this?
move. We can't do it. And we said, look, we've had to take the van in today, and thankfully,
Well, it got to a point where we were just like, well, for us, ignoring the insurance,
yeah,
but for us, we needed the van back on the road,
yes,
and we needed it preferably before that weekend.
yeah,
So it didn't really matter whether or not the insurance came through with the money.
mm,
For us,
yeah,
we needed the van fixed.
yeah,
So I was like, just do it.
yeah, and then we'll get the money back
Exactly. We'll see
eventually.
if we get the money, how much money we get, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
Yeah, luckily we were at a point where obviously we were on a budget, but we
I prepared for that. I
We-
budgeted
yeah.
for repairs. So
but we had all. I mean, if that happened, say now, it'd be a bit more of a
We'd be
conversation
screwed.
because we're running out of money. But yeah, at that point, luckily we had the money to hand to be able to say, right, if we have to go without it for a month, we can. Luckily though, that day, so we dropped the van off. We've got some snacks, some drink. We've got Dargo. We dropped the van off at the garage. Now we can go to Valencia
Yeah,
because the van is secure.
exactly.
Before we really got anywhere in Valencia, we got a phone call from the insurance. The money would be in our account by the end of the day.
Yeah.
We did have the medical people getting on saying, oh, if you can get to a hospital whenever you can,
Yeah.
then do so. But we didn't in the end.
No, we couldn't really do it.
I didn't want to.
Plus-
I didn't want to go. That time of year it seems a bit. You don't want to be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
And then you've got to go to a hospital in a foreign country 2 weeks, say, after an accident, and say, I had a car crash. I feel okay, but I might not be.
Yeah.
Here's my e-hit card because I pay for national health back home.
Exactly.
Like,
It's
yeah,
not the best, is it?
I suppose because most people, when things like that happen, they're like, well, when I go home, I'll go to a doctor.
Yeah.
Over there wasn't really an option. But we went to Valencia, had a great time in Valencia.
We did.
Went
Valencia
down,
was nice.
went down to the beach
Yeah.
and did our usual, went straight to the old town.
Yep.
No, that's a lie. That's a complete lie. First we walked down, there was a great big park which runs pretty much the length of the city, isn't it? Down, I think it starts off by the Science University.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
you're in amongst
Science centre.
Science Centre. So it's almost Central Park-esque,
Mm.
you know, because there's just buildings all around you.
Yeah.
But there's beautiful public park,
Mm.
like a river you can follow all the way, and there
It's
was
got a little rose garden in it.
yeah, which we got Dargo out and gave her a good.
Yeah. She had
good
fun.
walk around. She really did. Having this little sniff around, and then there was the big pool outside of was it like an art centre
Yes.
with fountains.
Yeah.
That's where we saw the monk parrots.
Parakeets.
Monk parakeets.
Yes.
Sorry, first time I've seen a parrot in the wild. Just flying around, just green
Just
parrots
there.
with like orange things. I remember walking around, I saw one fly into a tree near the path and I started filming it and then about 4 or 5 other people saw me filming something and then came over and say, there's parrots and palm trees and it was amazing to me. That was when we first saw, were they orange trees?
Yes. Yeah.
Just on the
Just
street.
on the street.
Just orange trees growing in the street and that's such an alien concept to me. Like, wait, what?
You're so British sometimes.
Can you eat them? Like, what's going on? Like, what are these real?
Are these real?
But that was a great park, and they had like a little, almost like a little theme park within the park.
Mm.
There was kids' play areas,
Yeah.
and there were mini golf courses and all sorts of stuff like that. There were people doing yoga
Yeah.
and exercise classes, things like that, and that led straight up to the old town.
Mhm.
And the old town, I think that's another place. Yeah, it's an old town European city. You could have spent all day there.
Yeah.
But time was getting on. We did go and get, we had some tapas.
We did.
And what was the really good was it patatas bravas?
Patatas bravas.
Patatas bravas, my word.
That's what I was going on to. That was like
That was the
thing
big
that
Spanish.
you need to have in Spain
Yeah.
is patatas bravas. I mean, I'm sure there are a million other amazing things in Spanish cuisine,
Yeah.
but everywhere serves patatas bravas,
Patatas bravas.
and it's amazing.
Yeah. We didn't have any sangria yet though,
No.
because we still had an unknown amount of driving to do.
Yeah.
Um, But the thing with Spain, so the thing with the garage is that it didn't close until 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, because they have the siesta.
Yeah, they have
They
2
make
hours
up
off.
the hours, yeah.
Yeah. So we had quite a bit of time to kill
Mm.
there.
One thing, sorry,
Yeah.
that I've just remembered was
Yes.
that Valencia Beach
Mm.
had that sand sculpture guy. Do you
Oh
remember?
my, yes, I do remember.
It was
yeah,
amazing.
Wow, that was like, yeah, it was never seen
was
anything. So
fantastic,
it seems a
yeah.
shame it's made out of sand because it's gone
Maybe
now.
he just. Well, I wonder if he's a Valencian, if
Mm.
that's even a word.
Yeah.
Or whether he travels around and does it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I mean, he does.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
That was really
So if
cool.
somebody goes
Yeah.
or if somebody knows, let us know.
Just a very intricate. You know, it had like
It was fantastic.
castles and villages.
It was
and-
taller than me.
Yeah, it was huge.
Um,
Every so often, he has to keep hosing it down
yeah.
to keep the
I
structure
think there was an
intact.
Egyptian section on it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's on the video on YouTube. If you go to the car crash video. Car crash, the crash video, it's on
Yeah.
there. No, the Valencia Old Town just seemed like a really cool place.
It was a very cool place. I enjoyed that.
Remember there was that huge tattoo studio, wasn't there?
Yes.
Which was quite.
Yes,
it was
there
like it was like a franchise
Yeah.
of a business, and it's on right next to an alleyway, just off a main street,
Mhm.
and there's an alleyway, and the huge wall all the way down the alleyway had just been painted,
Mhm.
just like one big mural by all the artists there. It was really cool.
That was very cool.
But then it was starting to get dark, and so we got the train back. We got a McDonald's
Mhm.
while we waited. Went to the garage.
Yeah.
This garage is where we learned our WhatsApp Translate. Not WhatsApp,
Google.
the
Translate.
Google Translate trick.
Trick.
I think we went over this, we might have gone over this in the last episode, I can't
We did.
remember, but it's worth reiterating, I feel.
Mhm.
If you're using Google Translate, do not just type in what you want and then send the translation. Copy the translation and translate it back into English
Yeah.
to see if it makes sense. A lot of businesses now, and these guys were doing it as well, they can communicate through WhatsApp
Yeah.
instead of phoning or speaking. Obviously, when you're dealing with different languages, that's a lot easier. So we knew whenever we were messaging them back that it made sense,
Yeah.
and it seemed to really help the process. I don't know whether they were doing the same or not.
I don't think they were because we had the word sausages come along.
Oh yeah, there was something about sausages. Yeah. Oh yes, please, but
Yeah.
also the van. But no, they were great. They really helped us out. They saved Christmas.
They did. They
Those guys.
really honestly did. We could not thank them enough.
We went back and they'd fixed. The only thing they hadn't done was the paintwork because we had asked them not to do the paintwork,
Mhm.
and it barely needed it anyway.
Yeah.
They bent it back. So the thing that was stopping it accelerating
Mm.
was just the cable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the accelerator cable was
Pressed up against the radiator.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it wasn't pulling.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, they got it. They fixed it. They fixed the van.
Yeah.
The van could drive again. We did lose a deflector sticker
We did.
because.
And we're still not sure what headlight we've got.
Yeah, see, now we don't know whether we need a deflector sticker, and we can't tell.
We've tried so many times. So we know that the headlight's aiming a little bit too far up,
Yes.
but there's no way to physically bring that down because of the damage that was done.
Yeah.
There's already a couple of extra washers and nuts and stuff where
Trying to
where it
angle
was
it
bolted
down,
on,
yeah.
exactly, trying
Yeah.
to angle it down. But we can't do any more than that.
The problem is that because where headlight works, you've got the bulb, and then it's just surrounded by mirrors, essentially,
Yeah.
to bounce it out. But that was smashed,
Mhm.
and they had a new one put in, so they'd have put a European one back in. Sorry, a European one in there to replace it. So, no, it's not the mirrors that's smashed. Sorry, it's the diffracting casing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just diffracts the light.
Yeah.
But
So
that-
what we don't know is whether they just replaced the cover
or the whole thing.
or the whole thing.
Yeah. We don't know whether we have a right-hand drive or left-hand drive headlight, and we've tried so many times. We can't tell.
We've asked other people. It's
Sometimes we drive around because we have driven at night. Sometimes we've been flashed by people. Sometimes we haven't, and no one's even. You can see people. They're not like wincing or anything. We've driven past police at night.
yeah.
No one said anything. So like we can't tell, and it's still a bit of a worry. and now we just do not drive at
We
night.
just don't tend to drive at night.
There's not a problem then. But no, that night we left the car, we left the garage, and we went back to that car park
Yeah.
to spend the night because it was there. And then, well, luckily we didn't have as much time as we planned to get down to Lorca, but we had more time than it could have been.
Yeah.
And because we hate the van, we then took it up some mountains the next day.
It's the only way. Break her in.
It's
Again. For the millionth time.
Yeah.
It's got new parts now.
So we went south and we ended up, out into the mountains to a village called Quattrotondetta.
Mm-hmm.
Quattrotondetta, which was, it was a bit windy that night.
It was.
A bit windy and a little bit of rain.
Mm.
But we also noticed the knocking was carrying on.
Yeah.
The knocking sound. So again, we thought, right, this has had a crash. They've gone over it.
Mm.
If it was something to worry about, they'd have found it and
Yeah.
they'd have fixed it. So it was still, it's still annoying that it was there.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that it was there. I just kept trying to tell myself, no, this is like the fourth or fifth people who've looked at it
Yeah.
and said nothing. So trying not to worry about it. So we took it up some mountains because the van gets no rest. And had just a night up there just to be back on the road again, sort of thing. And the next morning, the sun was out.
Yeah.
And the view over the valleys. You're just in
Yeah.
the Spanish mountains, aren't you?
Yeah.
Surrounded by it all. And we took Dargo for a bit of a walk around. There's like a little olive grove and
Yeah.
loads of olive trees. Looking for somewhere to go, and then that's where I found the spot on the internet. Cantos de Visera. Which, the only thing I'd spotted for it was a big cliff with a hole in it.
I see.
Remember? Walking trails.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, I do, yes.
There you go. And that was a bit further south, and because I kind of wanted to stay off the main roads, rather than the big roads, because we've had a few days, we've had a rubbish couple of days.
Yeah.
Let's get out into nature, sort of thing. And we went to this place, and it's just a big nature area. There's lots of hiking trails from the car park. There were cliffs and vistas to look at. There was, it's a big. It's kind of like it is a cave, isn't it?
Yeah.
But there's a hole at the top of the cave.
Yeah.
So it comes through.
Yeah.
And looking at the big open part of the cave, you can see out across the rest of the hill and out in the valleys and things. And
Out onto the plains of Spain.
Plains of Spain, where there was no rain.
No.
But there were cave paintings,
There were.
which we didn't see. They were the other side of a fence.
Yeah, and that was closed.
Yeah, unfortunately. But the best thing was we took Dargo with us.
Yeah.
And she took to those hiking trails like a duck to water.
She loved it.
I think because she's on, I think it's because she's on a narrow path.
Mm.
She can see the footpath. There's stuff either side of her,
Mm.
and when one of us is in front and the other's behind,
Yeah.
she'll go.
Yeah.
Tails
She's
up.
quite comfortable.
She's going and having a look.
Yeah.
And
She loved it.
she absolutely just off-roading cat.
She loved it so much that she wore herself out and then had to have a lie down.
She did. Yes. When we took water, look, we make a little bowl for her out of the lid.
Yeah.
So she could have a bit of a drink while she was up there. But no, she absolutely loved it. I think we loved it because we had it all to ourselves.
Yeah, we did.
There was no one else there. A very impressive cave.
It was amazing.
Whole
That's
thing.
like
Huge.
Yeah.
Hole in the rock. Crazy.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. And then we carried on south. We were thinking of stopping there that night.
Mm.
We could have stopped there. It's nice and flat. There were quite a few insects around. But we wanted to go to the beach.
Yeah.
Because we still hadn't been to the Mediterranean yet.
No.
And the novelty of going swimming in the sea in December, to me, was too good of an opportunity to miss. So we picked out a spot down near Cartagena that we wanted to go to. So we thought, well, it's a very long drive. Well, it's quite a long drive from here. So I'd rather do a bit of driving that night. Where we drove, I remember the very dramatic skies that night. So you, again, driving down big open roads through the valleys surrounded by mountains.
Yeah.
Which is, it could be anywhere in Spain, it's all over the place. It's, you really can't understate the driving scenery in Spain.
Yeah.
It has been bettered, I will say.
Yes.
But at that point.
I would say that Spain still gets a category of its own.
Yes. There's very scenic roads, but a different type of scenic
Yeah.
from the other scenic
Yeah.
roads. So yeah, we went south somewhere just outside of Murcia, which is a great big car park full of motorhomes. But it was a motorhome service area, so you had your water dumping and
Yeah.
filling stations there. That's when the van next door. I say
Is
van.
that Parrot Lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great big huge German
Huge
vehicle.
thing. And it seemed to just be a lady by herself, an older lady by herself, but she had a dog.
You had a dog, and so we saw the dog,
Yeah.
and then we heard the dog, and then we heard something else. I thought, that's a weird dog. Like, she must have another little dog.
Yeah. What?
And it just sat in the window as a macaw.
Exactly. A huge
Like,
one.
big red thing. Like, oh god. Like, she's a pirate.
Yes.
We kind of wanted, we had the windows shut. We kind of wanted Dargo to make contact to see,
Just to see what
see
she
how
does.
she'd react.
To such a big, like a
yeah.
bird bigger than herself.
So yeah, spent the night there. It was nice enough. And then we carried on down to El Portas was the name of the little beach village thing. So it's down some little roads.
Yeah.
It's quite tight to turn around in. There were people saying that they parked their motorhomes there for the night. That seemed far too small a place.
Yeah.
You'd be in the way there. That seems a bit inconsiderate to me.
A little bit.
It was a beautiful little beach. It's a little beach town. Water was very choppy though.
Yeah.
Bit too choppy for us to go in. It would have been nicer because it was it's a really hidden
Little park.
little village, and seems to be a lot of coastal walks starting, or at least going through there anyway. So kicked around there for a bit, and then we went to our stop for the night, which was you could just see from that beach. And I'm going to pronounce it. I might not pronounce it wrong. It's Bateria de Castelitos,
Okay.
which is the battery fort.
Yes.
Yeah. So you could see it from there, and I think as the crow flies, it's maybe about 2 kilometres away, something like that. But by road, there were several mountains in the way.
Yeah.
So we had to go right back, up some mountains, and then down the mountains again. Which there was another viewpoint we stopped at on the way down.
Which was
Just,
amazing.
Again, overlooking the valley
Well,
from the mountain.
that was the road where you've got mountain roads, and you know the sea is somewhere nearby. But you just come over this crest.
You crest
and
it,
it's just mountains on both sides and blue seas in the middle, and you're like, wow, this is so cool.
So we headed down to the bottom of the valley, and then we came off the main road, through another little village, and then onto what we call the Road of Death.
Death Road.
Death Road. This has its own. We have a full unedited clip of this on YouTube.
With one camera facing out and the other camera facing in at our faces.
So it's a narrow mountain road that just hugs the cliffs all the way up.
Yeah.
So this is at the top of this is an old military battery, artillery cannons at the top. So this road was built just for military people to get up and down.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's not made for tourists to be passing each other. You can pass each other, but one of you has to stop, and you have to get right the way over.
Yeah.
And so we're going around, and it's bumpy.
Yeah.
There are potholes. There's sheer drops with no barriers on the one side.
Yeah. There were very, very tight corners.
Yeah, and obviously with us being a right-hand drive, going round right-hand turns, you can't see what's coming.
Yeah.
We went round one corner, there was a boulder in the middle of the road.
That's not an exaggeration.
There's a
There's
literal,
an actual boulder.
We had to go over the other side of the road to get round.
And even then, I think that was like a centimetre, if that,
that
on either side of the van.
That was like both heads out of both windows looking like, we're good, and just checking the back of the van, and oh my word. And you can see other vehicles coming from a long way away, because they're coming down the road on the next hip mountain over, and oh, here we go. And then we got to the top, and the car park is horrible.
It is.
But there is a nice flat car park at the top of a ramp.
Yeah.
But the ramp, it's quite smooth stone and has a hairpin on it.
Yeah.
And I managed to get round the hairpin, I think, but then I couldn't start to get up that.
Get up, yeah.
I couldn't get the grip to get up there, so I had to reverse back down, and then the lower part of the car park is on a slope with a big hole in it.
Yep.
So I was trying to avoid that.
Which normal cars got beached on.
Yeah.
So.
But there was like a little leg bit that sort of goes off to the side.
Yes.
And that was flat enough, so we went over there and parked up, and we sat for a bit, and then we walked down to the fort to watch the sunset.
Yes.
That was really cool.
That was very cool.
Because it's an old military fortification.
Yeah.
And the artillery batteries are still there. And you can just get around, everywhere is open.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get into the artillery guns themselves, and that's all shut. But all the old, just like...
But it's also stylised.
What do you mean?
Because it looks like an old fort. It looks like with the stonework and everything.
Yeah.
And the way that it's done. And you've got the shop and the armory.
Oh yeah, there was
and things like that. And the turrets at the gates, they're the staircases, they're the spiral staircases that go up to the top.
Yeah.
And things like that.
What was it?
So that was quite cool.
Should have looked into this. Wasn't it a paid thing at one point to get in? But
Yes.
they closed it and you used to have to pay to get in.
Yeah.
But now it's just open.
Yeah. I think in the 70s it was a
I'd
paid
forgotten about
thing.
the shop. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah. But looking now, it's free, so you just go. And people were just turning up to come and see the sunset.
Yeah.
Which perfectly
Tons
understand.
of
That
people
was
did,
fantastic. Then we stayed there the night, and we woke up early in the morning to watch the sunrise.
Yeah. It was quite windy that night. I was terrified.
It was. So we had a cliff, a very small cliff to the one side of us where we were, but the other side there was a wooden fence, and then just a bit of a drop, which you'd roll several times and go down.
Into the sea.
Into the sea. And then that was our last night out before our Christmas break.
Yes.
So then we headed back down the death road. We deliberately, we wanted to beat the traffic coming up in the morning.
Yeah.
Down this death road. So we thought, right, we'll get up, we'll watch the sunset, we'll have a coffee, and then we'll go. Sunrise, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll get up, watch the sunrise, have a coffee, and go.
Yeah.
Because we want to beat the traffic. So we did that. Got back on the main roads, carried on south down to Lorca, where we did our Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
Then we had to go to 2 supermarkets.
Yeah.
The Aldi
to get everything and
Carrefour. Yeah. Which is so this was December the 23rd.
Yes.
And the Carrefour was in a shopping centre. Shopping centre could have been any day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought it'd be that close to Christmas.
No.
But nothing was short stocked.
No.
Everywhere had everything.
Yeah.
And then we went on to our Airbnb stop, which wasn't in Lorca, it was out in the middle of nowhere. It was so
middle of nowhere.
So remote.
Yeah.
Did not expect it.
We were low on fuel.
Yep.
I remember, and we were just like, no, it's fine. Because we're not going to be going anywhere for a week.
Yeah.
We'll just get to where we're going and we'll fill up on the way out, it's fine.
Yeah.
But no, as we were going up a slight incline, Moya's fuel gauge has this habit where
depending on the angle of the vehicle is how much fuel you have. But the warning light...
Old vehicles, alright?
Yeah. But the warning light came on.
Yeah.
And we looked at how far off any main roads we were going to be going and thought,
Yeah.
no, we can't risk this.
No.
So we got fuel and started going down the road, which eventually the tarmac stopped.
Yeah.
A couple of little hairpins, which we didn't have to stop and reverse to get around. We did manage to get around them. And you pull up, you just sort of crest a hill and there's just a villa sat there. And we thought, oh, got a villa. No, it's pretty good actually. This villa has been split into 2 or 3 different buildings. So we parked up. There was a bit of confusion. They weren't expecting us until the following day.
Yeah.
There was a mistake on their part. We had booked it. But the woman was very apologetic.
Yeah, she was lovely.
She was lovely. And yeah, there was 2 bedrooms because my parents were going to come out and visit us.
Yeah.
2 bedrooms downstairs. There was a kitchen and a living room. That's all you needed.
Yep.
There was Wi-Fi, but that was
god awful.
You had to keep unplugging the router and plugging it back in because it kept turning off.
Yeah.
It was enough for us to watch. You know, it was enough.
Yeah, it did us.
Then my parents came out. The first time my dad's ever driven in Spain, and then he had to go off-roading in a rental car.
I don't think they were expecting that really, were they? We did warn them, to be fair.
But it was weird because we were so high up without realising it was cold.
It was cold.
I mean, it was December, it's still warmer than the UK, but I remember telling my parents, bring slippers.
Well, also Spanish houses aren't built to keep in the heat.
No, yeah, very true.
So, yeah, it was chilly.
And so yeah, we got in there on the 23rd, and we stayed there until the 30th.
Mhm.
And I think that's where we're going to end it today, because there's still so much more of Spain to do. This is a long episode. This is running quite long as it is.
Spain's going to be our first two-parter.
Spain's our first two-parter. And the
Dog is excited.
The next country will be. Oh, she's come to say hello.
Hello.
So there'll be no trivia for Spain this week because this has gone on long enough anyway. Obviously, we had the crash and the associated repairs this week. Next week there will also be repairs, but the details of the reason for repairs won't be until the episode after that.
Or maybe the one after that.
Or maybe the one after that, depends how it goes.
You just have to jigsaw it yourselves.
Yeah. But to listen to it all and piece it all together.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to end it there because this is going on quite a bit anyway.
Yeah,
thank you so much for listening.
Yes.
Especially to this lengthy episode. Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
We are at Catavan UK.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to email us directly, it's it's not www. It's catavanuk@gmail.com. If you're listening to us on YouTube, you may be interested to know that we are available on every podcast service you care to think of, except the US exclusive ones, so I won't let us on there. If you are listening to us on a podcast service, we are also available on YouTube, as well as our weekly video diaries. Podcasts go out on Wednesdays and video diaries go out on Sundays. I should be reading this off my bit of paper, but I forgot. We have a Redbubble store.
We do, yes. It's still live. Things are still on there. I haven't added anything this week.
No.
But I will do. I promise.
But if you see photos either on Instagram or on there,
yeah,
and you want...
If you want customizations, if you want any personalizations, or if you see any photos that we have posted on Instagram or Facebook, then let me know and I will make them available.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Spain Part 1.
Spain Part 1. And Catface has been very good.
Yes.
Yes.
And I've been Ben.
That's you, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You regained your identity throughout this
episode,
have you?
Yeah, I figured it out.
Are you sure? Okay.
Yeah.
I've been Frey, and this is Dargo.
Will she meep?
No.
No, she won't meep. Not in the mood. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.